Our 25% off Black Friday sale is live right now. All of our boot accessories, camera gear, wallets, belts are all 25% off, and they make the absolute best gifts, so check them out below. The Wolverine 1,000 Mile boot is one of the more iconic boots in the world, but we cut them apart and they are less impressive than people say. A lot of synthetics, a lot of overlapping materials that are gonna roll up. They charge more than Red Wing, fake leather heel stack, loose grain selection for their leather. It's just not that great of a boot. So when we saw that old Stridewise picked us up a Wolverine fake, this might be the one fake that might actually be worth buying. So we're gonna cut this thing in half, run it through our test to really see if you can get an affordable fake that's actually decent quality, or is it more of the same when we see these brands using someone else's good name to sell a bad product by going so far as to copy every little detail, the Wolverine 1,000 Mile, the stamp on the inside, and seemingly a full leather construction. So what is this boot? Well, the brand is allegedly Wolverine, but it's not. The style is the Wolverine 1,000 Mile zip boot. So that is one thing I do not like about this boot. They weigh a surprisingly heavy 1 pound 7 ounces. Compared to the other fakes, this is almost half a pound more. It's a really small size, and it has that heft of a higher quality boot. They retail for 1.8 million Vietnamese dongs, or $73 USD, but like all these fakes, they're always on sale for a cool 925,000 dongs, or $37. Even though it says it's made in Rockford, Connecticut, and they copied all the stamps, even down to the one on the heel, clearly made in Vietnam, because that's where Strideway's bought them. So now I'll start looking at the materials, because this is real leather, and it's a pretty thick leather. It's 1.8 to 2 millimeters thick. It's a pretty solid leather. It has a lot of oils and waxes worked into it. Has a pretty unique pull up, and this almost looks like a kudu. It looks like a CF Stead leather. We looked at the cross section, plenty of grain left in it. We did the burn test, no heavy plastic on top, and it's once again a pretty decent leather for a fake boot. It is a little bit on the drier side of things compared to the Chrome XL that this boot is made out of, but it's not like dry and like crunchy. We did the puncture test, took 47 pounds to puncture through, so not great results. And really the biggest complaint I have, because this leather's not bad, the upper looks like it's sewn well, it's just a stupid zipper on the side, and it's not, it's like a quality zipper, it's just some cheap zipper. I should probably just, should we just see if it breaks? Oh, it didn't. Okay, it's a pretty strong zipper. At least the zipper's strong. But if we start looking at the inside, like I mentioned, they did copy a lot of what Wolverine does. You see the collar here with all these stamps and the sizing, 6.5E is all leather. The lining up the shaft of the boot is all leather. Even the heel counter on the inside, just like the original Wolverines, is leather. Obviously the original Wolverines aren't lined up the quarters, but at least this lining is leather. And this is a $37 boot. These are all of our handmade wallets that we sew right here in the shop, cut out right here in the shop, and we don't use sewing machines. We do it the old school way with the saddle sewing technique that they use to make saddles instead of the sewing machine. It's one piece of thread, 2 needles, and weaving in and out of the thread all the various colors from tan, light brown, medium brown, dark brown, and black, but more importantly, the various wallets. So starting with the smallest and the first, the one that really launched the brand on Kickstarter, the Claude wallet, 2 pockets, 1 shorter pocket and a bigger pocket behind with the rolled edge so you can hold more cards. Same thing with the slim wallet, it's just a redesign of this. Same concept, 2 pockets, rolled edge for the bigger pocket. Then the Big Daddy version of the Slim, the SBB, that we actually made this pattern for the shattered backboard cut in half way early in the YouTube days, but it has 2 card pockets in the front and that bigger cash pocket with the rolled edge. Then to the Swayze, the one I use probably most every single day. So it's got 4 card pockets so you can really partition off and separate your cards. And if that's not enough card room and you want a little cash room, you can go to the Togo. 2 big pockets where you can store cash folded once and 4 card pockets. If you're old school and you want the traditional bifold, same concept here, but you've got 6 cash pockets with these little hidden pockets back here and that cash slot there, traditional bifold. And the biggest daddy of them all, the travel wallet, a little spot for your boarding pass and your passport, your ID, all your credit cards, all the junk that you're gonna accumulate on the trip, even this little hidden pocket right there. So check these all out below, and Black Friday is going on right now, so you can get 25% off the entire site, including all these wallets. And if we unzip it and look deeper inside of the boot, you can see that you're standing on some sort of what looks like leather. It has a little bit of squish underneath, and it looks just like this pigskin that Wolverine, for some reason, is like, let's not make that go the full length. Let's do the half sock liner and a half forefoot liner so that you have 2 points that this could potentially start peeling up and failing instead of just doing a full sock liner. And that's what this seems to be on the inside. It looks like it's real leather, and it really kind of looks like it's pigskin. But I can feel that there's some foam underneath, which is similar to the actual Wolverines because there's no leather leather insole like you see in a pair of Red Wings. It's just fiberboard underneath. And the half sock liner is backed with a little bit of foam, just like the fakes. But one thing that is different is the Wolverines, they line the vamp with pigskin. This one seems to be some sort of canvas, but this is less than 1/10 of the price of a pair of these. So far it's looking pretty good. And if you start looking at the construction, this looks a lot like leather. I don't think it is, but it's a very convincing fake leather if it is fake. Even the welt looks like leather, and that's the hard thing, is even like as a leather expert, it's tough sometimes to tell the fake from the real. Obviously I'm gonna gamble on the fact that it's fake at the price point that it's at, but it is very convincing. Even the outsole, you know, it's a full length outsole. It is really soft and really cheap. Like I think it's just gonna start chunking off quicker than you expect. But I'm curious to see if there's any voids in the forefoot or anywhere else, because if it is truly welted, if it does even have like some decent fake leather components, it could be a decent buy, honestly. But one thing it failed miserably at was the puncture test. It only took 30 pounds to puncture through, where the Wolverines took over 200 pounds. So there's clearly something going on the inside that makes these a lot easier to puncture through. And speaking of the welt, I can't really tell if it's really good you're welted or not. I see glue, so it's more than likely it's just glued construction or cemented construction. But overall, for 37 bucks, this is not a bad boot at all so far. So now let's cut these in half and see if this is the one fake boot you might want to consider if you're okay with having a horrible zipper up the side of the boot. So let's cut them in half. All right, we got it cut in half, and it's time to find out if this is the one fake that might be worth considering buying. So let's see what's inside. So what's on the inside? A whole lot of junk, honestly. And now I want to know, is this real leather in the forefoot, or is it fake? A little impromptu burn test. Leather doesn't melt, and that melts. Dang it. I was holding out a little bit of hope for him. What about this? The half sock liner looks like leather. Let's try this one. That is real leather. And then you've got a little bit of foam underneath, some canvas to structure all that. Not terrible, honestly. I wish it was real leather, but 37 bucks. You have just almost like a sneaker lasting material that's not even glued in. You know, then underneath that, you've got another piece of fiberish board that's just kind of stacked in there, not glued very well. And you can see they have these little relief cuts to help it flex a little bit better. And you can see this is clearly just cemented, because I'm literally just ripping layer by layer out. But that midsole is not real leather. The welt is not real leather. The welt stitch is not real. The outsole is a solid outsole all the way through, which is pretty surprising, because those fake Red Wings, there was voids all over the place. The heel stack is not real leather. It is like a pretty convincing fake leather. And you can see a little bit of the shoddiness in the construction here. It's like just kind of flapped there. It's glued on, and it just all kind of can come apart pretty easily. So let's see what's what. Let's see if we can just tear this thing apart. That to me is always like the real test, especially if I can talk through ripping it apart. Yeah, that's the number one flaw with any of these boots, is you can just tear them apart by hand without skipping a beat, without stopping talking. And if you can do that by hand, it's only a matter of like 20 steps before it starts delaminating and falling apart. And that's the biggest issue with any of these fake boots. They just are built to fail. And that's what you're buying. And that's what you should expect. If you're buying a $37 fake boot, when the real boot, even though it's overpriced in my opinion, it's 10 times the price, you're gonna get 1/10 of the value, 1/10 of the quality materials, 1/10 of the longevity, and we've yet to find a fake boot that's even worth a fraction of the real boot. That's not even mentioning the fact that these people are using the Wolverine name, that, say what you will about the quality boots, they have held onto this brand, they built it into a giant conglomerate, and it has some form of name in the heritage world, and these people are using that good name to sell a terrible product, and that's the stuff that drives me absolutely insane. So is this the boot that I would maybe consider buying as a fake? It is not. I had a little bit of hope for it, you know, because I think it'd be kind of be interesting to see if you can find a really, really good fake for an affordable price. So I'm gonna have Stridewise in his world travels keep looking for some good fakes, and hopefully one day we'll be able to find one, because it's not about trying to find fake brands to show you guys so you go buy them. It's just a way to continue to round out our information. And it's just fun exposing people being super shady, stealing stuff, ripping people off, and exposing them is one of my favorite things to do. So thank you guys for all your support. Shout out to Stridewise for finding these in Vietnam for me. me and check out the other fake Red Wing video if it's posted. I don't know if it's posted or not. And go check out Stridewise's channel. There's links below. And thank you guys for all your support. See ya.